Hey everyone, my name's Forrest. I'm going to be taking you through a shoulder strength flow today. As far as skill level goes, it's a little bit more intermediate towards advanced, but if you are a beginner, no worries. Highly encourage you to participate and do what you can. If this is your first class with me, don't feel obligated to do every single thing that I offer. I know that they can be a little challenging, but please modify and just do your best, do what you can. As far as props go, you can grab a handful of blocks, have by your mats. Those might come in handy, especially with some of the movements we do. They help elevate the ground towards you and make things a little bit more accessible. Anyways, let's go ahead and meet on the mat in a seated position whenever you're ready. So just take a moment as you settle into your posture, simply seated with the legs comfortably how you like it, or if you want to crisscross the legs, stack the shins, whatever feels best for you. Just know that this is a posture for centering, not necessarily stretching or creating space in that regard. So once you're settled, you can start to check in with your body, mind, the breath. If it's comfortable, you can let your eyelids soften. And start to pay attention to the breath. As you pay attention to the breath, start to extend your awareness to your mind. Observe how you're thinking right here. And as you slow down the breath and allow your awareness to focus on the breath and your thoughts, you might find that your thinking goes down a little bit, or the speed of your mind follows suit with the slowing down of the breath. I encourage you to keep your focus on your thoughts and your breath throughout this practice and observe just how it's going to change. Observe how the breath is going to change throughout your movements. Observe how your mind responds to the challenging postures that we do in dynamic movements. And as you observe, you can always check in with yourself and modify your thoughts. You know, if you have a thought that comes up during plank pose or an uncomfortable posture that's not so encouraging to you, or you have the tendency to want to run away from that posture or from that discomfort, you can absolutely modify your thoughts into positive self-affirmations to help make that plank pose or whatever it might be, that challenge, a little bit easier. And throughout that, as you build that skill, you're going to take that off the mat with you and use it towards greater adversity. That's a really cool thing about yoga, all these cool little things that we can learn from ourselves and our movement. Let's take about 2 more cycles of breath there. Inhaling, expanding through the lungs, maybe even spreading space in between the collarbones, and let the belly button drive forward as you find that great big inhale. And then exhale, soften the breath out. We'll take one more just like that. Big, deep inhale through the nose if you can. And then exhale it out. Okay, next you're going to come over onto your hands and knees, tabletop posture. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. We're going to add some movement here, shifting our shoulders over the wrists, warming up into our wrist joints a little bit. And as you do this, make sure you're grounding, placing the index finger and thumb knuckles firmly on the floor, pointing your fingers forward. The hand placement's really up to you, really personalized. I personally like to point my index finger straight forward. Feel free to do that or point them more out a little bit more. And start to come to stillness with those half circle movements, and then point your fingers out to the sides here. we'll get a little bit deeper into our wrist flexion. Spin your elbow creases forward, and then from here, shifting side to side, shifting shoulders over the fingertips, or moving in that direction if you don't necessarily have that range of motion yet. Not working for specific amount of reps with this. We're just finding some movement into our joints here. We'll take our stretch a little bit deeper. Spin your fingers to point back towards the knees. And if this is a little too intense with you with your knees underneath the hips, walk your knees forward, and that'll reduce the intensity on the wrists and forearms. And we're going to shift back. You can let the heels of the palms lift. And if you want to take this a little bit deeper, if this is all right for you, you can walk those knees back. You can take them underneath the hips or a little bit farther back and press into the ground as you shift forward and back. That's the movement we're going with this, forward and backwards. Driving the heels of the palms towards the floor every single time. You shift forward and then waiting until you need to lift the heels of the palms as you shift back. Go ahead and replant the hands in their normal spot underneath the shoulders here. And we're going to do some scapular push-ups. If you need to take a second, roll out the wrists a couple times here and there throughout the practice or throughout our wrist warm-ups. Please do at any time. But once you have your wrists and forearms ready to go, place your hands underneath the shoulders. And we're going to do something called scapular push-ups. So it involves retraction and protraction of your shoulder blades here. Using your rhomboids, those muscles on the insides of the shoulder blades, in between the spine and your shoulder blades to pull the shoulder blades together, and your serratus anterior to help press the shoulder blades apart. And so we're going to do this here. You don't have to know the anatomy or think about it throughout this, but sometimes it's nice to know what's doing what. But we'll start neutral here. Start to press the ground away, creating space in between those shoulder blades. Lots of space there. And then start to draw those shoulder blades together as you drop your chest towards the floor. We're going to do 5 of those just like that and about that pace. Start to press the ground away, create space in between those shoulder blades. And then slowly bring your chest towards the floor. That's 2. Press it and create space. Press the ground away. I always like to think about pressing the ground away as if it's like a stinky person. I don't want them to be anywhere near me. Start to draw your chest towards the floor. And then, when you come back towards them, like, okay, I guess you put some deodorant on or something. Come a little closer. All right, start to press away for 4. And lower the chest. All right, last one here. Press it up. And lower the chest. Big squeeze. Come back to neutral. Take a second to sit back onto your shins or stand on the shins. Make loose fists, and we will circle out our wrists there together. 3 to the outside, 3 or 5. 3 to 5 on the inside. We'll get into the extensors a little bit, so the back of the forearms. Go ahead and point your forearm, or reach your right arm out in front of you. Go ahead and pull the fingers in towards the center. Place your left hand on top of that hand and start to press your forearm towards or in front of you. Press it forward as you draw the hand back. Keep holding about 10 seconds on these. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Shake out that hand. Opposite hand now. Left hand. Reach it forward. Pull those fingers into the middle. Right hand on top of that, on the back of the hand, and start to pull that hand towards you as you press the forearm forward. 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Shake out those wrists. We're going to take the extensor work a little bit deeper here. So go ahead and make fists, bring the knuckles together, and then place the backs of the hands on the floor here. Open up the fingers and start to find some bend into those elbows if you haven't already, and it's kind of necessary to keep your elbows bent as you enter this. And then start to find some length in your arms as you spin your elbow creases forward. If you want more engagement or, sensation, make fists. Curl your fingers in towards the palms there. I think everybody knows how to make fists. I don't know why I just decided to cue you up on that. But anyways, find some movement here, finding length in those arms, spinning your elbow creases forward. And we'll get about 1 to 2 more here. Good. Those are a little bit more intense than just the isometric stretch, pulling the hands in. But they're nice to get into those extensors. A couple circles here throughout the wrists. And let's go ahead and make your way back into tabletop posture. Tuck your toes under, and then go ahead and lift your knees up about 1 inch or 2. Before we lift, make sure you're protracting the shoulders here. So that's going to be a component today. A handful of times, creating space in the shoulders, press it away, and then go ahead and lift those knees up 1 inch or 2. Draw your belly in towards your spine. Now, we're going to alternate coming onto the fingertips of each hand. So shifting your weight to the left side, right fingertips touch the floor. Shift your weight to the right side, left fingertips touch the floor. You're going to do that 5 times each side. Left finger or right fingertips touch as you shift to the left. Shift to the right, left touches. That's 2. 3. 3, nice and stable, as best you can. 4. 4, you can always do these with the knees down. 5, they just aren't as hard. 5, good. When you're ready, or when you have enough energy to, go ahead and make your way up and back into your first downward facing dog of this practice. Start to pedal out those legs, making any sort of movement here that is necessary to help you eventually find downward facing dog with stillness. As far as cues go for downward facing dog, looking for length here from the fingertips through the tailbone, not compromising that length in your spine with length in your legs. So if you are searching for that length in those legs, sometimes that can make your spine round a little bit. And just go ahead and focus on the spine first, bend your knees a little bit, and you can press your heels to the floor. And eventually, you can maybe find that length in your legs, but it doesn't make or break your downward facing dog at all. Now let's inhale, lift the heels, bend your knees, look long, look forward. Exhale, step to the top of the mat. Standing forward fold. Now options here. You can take opposite hand to opposite elbow if that feels nice. Highly encourage you to bend your knees generously here. If you want to, you can always interlace your hands, reach the knuckles up towards the ceiling as well. We'll be here for a few more breaths, so you can do what feels best to you. And if you have your hands bound, go ahead and release the bind. Everybody bring your hands to the floor or towards the floor. Inhale, we're going to lift up halfway. Find length in your spine. Bring those hands up onto the shins or thighs or fingertips if you have the flexibility. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees, reach your arms up, look up, press through the ground, extend the body all the way. Exhale as your hands come down to heart center or down by your side. It's your preference. Inhale to extend the body, reach your arms, squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward. Exhale, hands come down to the floor, standing forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, plant those hands. Step your feet back to plank pose. All right, so protracting those shoulders again, that word. Protracting, pressing the ground away from the chest. A little rounding in that upper back here. Draw your belly in towards your spine. Use your legs to help this plank pose out. Engage your glutes, squeeze the glutes. And then fire up those quadriceps to the tops of the thighs. Keep holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody drop your knees down, chest and chin in between the hands. Start to slide the chest forward, pelvis comes down, and we'll go ahead and inhale, draw the shoulders down the body, untuck the toes, lift the head and chest up for baby cobra. Exhale, soften. Inhale again, back bending. Maybe lifting a little higher. Exhale, lower that. Now either bring your chin to the floor or forehead, whatever works for you. You're going to extend your arms back, palms facing in, and you're going to lightly touch the thumbs and then lift the pinkies as high as you can. We're going to do that for 10 reps. 10, lower, light touch, and lift. For 9, get those hands up as high as you can. Lower, touch, and lift. 8, lower, touch, lift. For 7, lower, touch, lift. 6, lower, light touch, lift. 5, lower, and lift. 4, lower, lift. For 3, lower, lift. For 2, last one, lower, get it up there, lift. For 1. Now start to bend your hands, bring the hands towards the forearms, scoop your arms down to be next to those ribs, and go ahead and tuck your toes, press yourself up to plank, use your knees or not, chin to the chest, up and back, downward dog. Big inhale to lift the heels, bend the knees, look long. Exhale, step or float it. Top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, start to open up your hands or your elbows by the ribs. Start to bring those elbows down towards the hip bones. And then keep lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. Start to extend your arms down. And then interlace your hands. Knuckles go down towards the floor. Chest lifts up. And if you don't have this flexibility here in your arms, you can always place your hands on the low back and get a similar back bend here. We're going to take this into a forward fold. So if you have the bind, you can keep it. Soft bend in your knees and start to fold over your thighs. Release the hands down to the floor if they were bound. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank pose. We're going to do something similar here to when we had our knees hovering. We're just going to shift our weight to the left side, come on to the right fingertips. Shift to the right. Left fingertips for 5. Right fingertips. Left fingertips, 4. Right fingertips. Left fingertips for 3. Keep pressing the ground away. Right, left, 2. Right, left, 1. Start to shift forward. Either knees, chest, chin to the floor, or come down through chaturanga to the ground. And we're all going to untuck the toes, take a baby cobra, inhale, lift. And exhale, soften. Walk your hands forward. You can come up to look at your fingers. With your arms extended long, come onto the fingertips here and start to press the ground with your hands, lifting up the head and chest, and then start to pull the ground towards you, or rather your fingertips towards you, creating a strong contraction there in your lats, pulling that ground as if you want it to come to you, or you want to pull yourself through your fingers. That's a way better cue. Keep holding. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring something to the floor, cheek, chin, forehead, whatever works, and just relax there for a moment. Now let's bring your hands back to the ribs. Tuck your toes. Press yourself up and back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, shift forward to plank pose.
Shift your weight onto the left side here, and instead of coming onto the fingertips, you're going to reach your right arm forward, bicep by the ear, and then start to move that hand, palm facing down. Rotate the arm so the palm faces in towards the hip. Light touch with the hip. Extend the arm out to the side. Palm faces down all the way to the starting point, palm facing in, bicep by the ear. Right hand comes down. Shift your weight to the right. And extend that left arm long, bicep by the ear, palm facing in. Rotate that arm out to the side. Palm facing down, rotating all the way to face the hip. Touches the hip, reach out to the left. Palm facing down, transition, palm facing forward. Hand comes down. Take a moment here. If you're feeling it, let's do 3 push-ups. If not, skip the push-ups, hold plank. Shifts forward, chaturanga for 3, 2, 1. Chin to chest, up and back, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, lift the heels. Bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step or float it. Top of the mat, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale, reach your arms up. Open up the palms. Once you find the maximum inhale, start to draw those elbows in. As you exhale, start to extend those arms long. Keep lifting up through the chest. Hands going down as if you have like 100 pounds of groceries in either hand. Keep reaching down towards the floor, chest lifting up. And start to interlace those hands if you have that bind. Soft bend in those knees. Take your forward fold. Release the hands. Inhale, lifting up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. You can step or float it back through your chaturanga. Untuck the toes into your upward facing dog. Exhale, chin to the chest. Up and back, downward facing dog. One more, sun A, just like that. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward. Exhale, step and float it. Forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, lift your arms up. Look up through the hands, full extension of the body. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Inhale to extend and reach. Top of the inhale. Keep lifting up through the chest. Start to draw those elbows down by the ribs towards the hips. Extend the arms long. Keep lifting, chest up, shoulders down. Interlace those hands, maybe opposite grip if you have it. And soft bend in your knees. Take your fold. Inhale to release the bind, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Your movement will meet in downward facing dog, so you can either step or float back into your chaturanga. Inhaling into your upward dog, exhaling into that downward facing dog. Next inhale, go ahead and reach your right leg long. And we're going to stabilize through the shoulders here. And so if you want to play around with a little balance, you can come onto the left fingertips. You can start to walk your left hand down the mat towards the center of the mat to add some more intensity to your right hand. Or if you want to, practice balance. Reach your left hand towards your left hip. Lots of stability in the shoulder and the core and into that left leg too. Left hand comes down to the floor. Come high into the left tiptoes. Exhale, shifts forward. Bring your right knee towards the right elbow, right tricep area. Holding for 10, 9. See how high you can get it. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach that leg back. Exhale, step the right foot in between the hands. Left knee comes down, left toes untuck. Inhale to sweep both arms up. Go ahead and cross the thumbs, and we're going to exhale. Go ahead and wave your hands forward, rounding your torso over the thigh. Bring your fingertips towards the floor. Inhale to lift. Exhale. Start to round the spine, fingers towards the floor for 2. Inhale to lift, push your hips forward and down as you lift the arms and drive the chest up. Last one here. Exhale, hands towards the floor. Inhale to rise. Undo those hands. Let your hands come to the top. Step your left foot up to meet the right foot, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, start to open up the hands, elbows come by the ribs
Extend your arms down. Interlace your hands, chest up, knuckles down. Exhale, soften and fold.
Inhale to release the hands, find your halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Your vinyasa, your flow from there to meeting downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches. Stabilize here through the body. Come high onto the right fingertips. Start to walk your right hand back if you want to add on here. And reach that right arm all the way by the right hip. And just do your best. Shake a little bit. If you need to stumble, fall, no worries. It's all part of that process. Right hand comes to the floor. Come high into the right tiptoes. Shift forward, left knee into the left tricep area. 10. Don't forget to protract. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, reach that leg back. Exhale, foot between the hands. Right knee comes down. Reach your arms up on the inhale. Cross your thumbs. Maybe opposite cross this time. Reach those arms back, chest up. Exhale, hands come down towards the floor. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hands towards the floor, around the spine. Inhale to lift. Exhale, hands towards the floor. Inhale, reach your arms up. Release the thumbs. Let your arms come down to the front of the mat. Right foot steps up to meet the left foot. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach your arms up, look up. Exhale, start to let your elbows come down by the ribs. Keep lifting up through the chest. Extend your arms long. Interlace your hands down, knuckles down, chest up. Stop bending your knees. Take your exhale and fold. Halfway lift on your inhale, find your space. Exhale, plant your hands, go ahead and step or load it back through your flow. Good. Next, inhale, reach your right leg long. Bend your knees, stack your hips, press through the ground, but don't let your shoulders move too much here. Keep your shoulders pretty level. And you can come onto the left tiptoes if you want to make it more active or more passive as you drive the left heel towards the floor. And you might be like, oh my gosh, this is pretty active already. It is, absolutely. So that's only if you want to add on there. We're going to exhale. Everybody go ahead and lift onto the left tiptoes anyway. Start to draw your right knee in a little half circle over towards the left tricep area. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shift that knee back over towards your right forearm. Extend your right leg long, plank pose here. Start to walk your hands out, and we're going to come into an extended straight arm plank here. Keep pressing the ground away. It's important to keep that protraction in your shoulder blades here. You can absolutely do these by bringing the knees to the floor. Just stay active throughout those arms and pressing the ground away. I'm going to hold this for a whole 30 seconds. Already about 7, 8 seconds in. Keep drawing your belly in. Squeeze the glutes here. Good. Start to walk your hands back, nice and controlled, to be underneath those shoulders. Shift your weight to the left. Right fingers touch the left shoulder. Finger touch. Shift your shoulders to the right. Left hand comes to the right shoulder. Light touch. Good. Push yourself up and back to downward facing dog. We're going to lower the forearms down for dolphin pose, and we're going to hold that there. So, forearms lower. Heels lift a little bit if you have tight hamstrings like myself. And this can be a doozy of a posture. Very challenging for the shoulders, lats, triceps, lots of upper body engagement here. And do your best to find some stability and stillness and ease here throughout all that effort. Start to press your arms either one at a time or both at the same time back into that downward facing dog. That can be quite the transition there, and also a strengthener. From downward dog, inhale, reach your right leg long. Exhale, step your right foot in between the hands. Crescent lunge here, reach both arms up. Exhale, interlace your hands behind the head, elbows wide. Start to take a twist towards your right. Maybe the right elbow points back, left elbow forward. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, shift forward. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. You're going to take your arms, we're not eagling here, but you're going to cross your right arm over and then catch it with the left. Right arm is in that elbow crease of the left, and start to pull your left knee towards the left and right arm towards the back, kind of countering in the center here. So essentially, if we weren't working with the arms, our left knee would be going back. If we weren't working with the legs, this direction, the right arm would go back. Stay centered, pull one either direction, and get a nice shoulder and hip opener. Good. Undo the legs, left foot down next to the right. Good. Undo the arms, and we're going to come on to the tiptoes here. Bend your knees, sink the hips down, all the way to touch the heels. Once we're here, we're going to bring the arms back behind us, fingers facing away, into a reverse table here. Squeeze the glutes, lift your hips up. You can play around with a little movement here, shifting your weight side to side. You don't want to necessarily collapse into this. Let your shoulders be up towards the ears. I know I'm exaggerating, but press that ground away. So this is a retraction, opposite of that protraction with those shoulder blades. Start to lower the hips a few inches. We're not going to touch the floor here, but a few inches above the mat. We're going to do crab walk toe touches. So you're going to extend your left leg long, bring your right hand around, maybe touch the toes if you have the flexibility, right hand to the floor. Right leg extends, left hand comes around, lightly touches, left hand down, right foot touches. Drive the hips up. One more time each side, lower the hips down, extend the left leg long, really engage through that left arm. Right hand comes around to lightly touch or not. Left foot down, right leg extends, left hand comes around and reaches back, right foot down. Squeeze the hips, lift up, soften the hips to the floor, cross your ankles, and we're going to take a flow or a vinyasa through there. So you can cross your ankles, extend those legs back through chaturanga, or step it back, untuck the toes, inhale into your upward dog, exhale into that downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the left leg long. Go ahead and bend the knee, stack the hips. Make it more active by coming onto those tiptoes on the right side if you want. Doesn't have to be a thing though. Keeping your shoulders pretty parallel and level. Next inhale, come high into the right tiptoes. Bring that left knee around in like a half circle motion over towards the right side. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sweep that knee back to the center. Extend it long. Plank pose here. This time we're going to do some walkouts, dynamic walkouts, and walking back and a shoulder touch in between. So we're going to do 5 total. Go ahead and start in regular plank, shoulders over the wrists. Do what you can with these. Start to walk forward, pressing the ground away. Get to that maximum extension, little chin towards the chest. Walk your hands back. Right hand to left shoulder, left hand, right shoulder. That's 1. Walk it out. Keep pressing the ground away. Walk it back. Right hand to left shoulder, left hand to right. That's 2. Walk it forward. Walk it back. Regular plank, right to left, left to right. Here's 4. Walk those hands forward. Don't forget about the glute activation in these. Walk it back. They can come in handy, especially as we get very tired in our other muscles. Right to left, left to right. Last one here. Walk those hands forward. Bonus 5 seconds in this extended plate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk those hands back. Right to left, left to right. Push your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Just a moment there. Take child's pose if you need it. There's a couple breaths. Dolphin pose is always an option, as that's our next posture in the mix. So, as promised, start to lower down those elbows to the floor for dolphin pose. Holding. Now we're going to take this into some dolphin push-ups. So dolphin push-ups involve shifting your shoulders forward over the arms. Bring your nose to lightly touch the floor in between the thumbs. If dolphin push-ups are brand new to you, you can interlace your hands just like this and let your elbows come wide. You can take this up and back into dolphin, and then you can lower, shift forward, touch your forehead, touch your nose, touch your chin. Progress in that regard. But if you're ready for some regular dolphin push-ups, maybe you've gotten like 20 in by the time I'm done explaining, but we're going to go ahead and work 5 total, nice and slow. Shift forward, light touch with the nose. Shift yourself back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Downward facing dog after those. Inhale, reach that left leg long. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands. Arms reach up on the inhale. Exhale, interlace your hands behind the head and take a twist towards the left side. Left elbow back, right elbow. All right, start to come back to the center. Go ahead and undo the hands, shift forward, cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Wobble a little bit there if you need to. And go ahead and cross your left arm over, right arm under. Same thing here, we're starting to find that equal opposite directional pull. Pulling the left shoulder back, right knee back, meeting in the middle for a nice shoulder and hip opener. Good. Go ahead and undo the arms, uncross the legs. Reach your arms forward, come high into the tiptoes. Exhale, soften your butt all the way down to the heels. Go ahead and bring the hands back behind you. Reverse table. Squeeze the glutes, lift your hips up. Keep holding this isometric contraction, pressing through those arms, lifting up through the chest and your hips. Slowly start to lower the hips towards the floor, coming into those crab walk touches. Extend your right leg long. Left hand comes around. Maybe it touches, maybe not. Right leg down. Left leg extends. Right hand comes around to touch. Right hand down, left foot down. Right leg extends. Light touch. Left down, right down. Left extends. Right to touch. Right down. Left down. 2 more each side. And woo! Losing some stability there. No worries. You can just get it back if you lose it. Last one here. Press your hips up. Reverse table. Exhale, soften those hips down to the floor. Cross your ankles over. And it's chaturanga time or vinyasa time. Untuck the toes after your bent arm. Inhale into that back bend. Exhale into your down dog. One more round of that. 1 time each side. Inhale, lift your right leg long, bend the knee, stack the hips. This time, exhale. Bring the right knee into the center of the chest. Shift forward, round the spine. Shift your shoulders as far over those wrists as possible for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend that leg long, plank pose. 5 walkouts with 2 shoulder touches in between. Walk it forward. Maybe a little farther this time. Walk it back. Left to right, right to left. That's 1. Walk it out. And walk it back. Right to left, left to right. That's 2. Walk it out. Left to right, right to left for 3. Shoulders definitely starting to burn a little bit. Walk it forward and walk yourself back. Touch, touch for 4. Last one. Bring it in, bring it out. Hold, and let's bring it back. Touch, touch. Downward facing dog for about 15 seconds of rest, or child's pose, or if you're feeling it, dolphin pose. The forearms on the floor. No matter where you're at, come to an easy-ish breath. Attempt to find ease in the breath as much as you can. Dolphin pose. Start to lower those forearms to the floor. We're just going to get it right into those push-ups now. Start to shift forward, do your variation. 1, shift back. 2, shift back. 3, take it back. 4, and 5. Dolphin pose. Press yourself up. Inhale. Reach that right leg long. Exhale. Step the foot in between the hands. Both arms reach up on your inhale. Exhale. Interlace the hands behind the head. Take a twist. Right elbow back, left elbow forward. Inhale back to the center. Keep your hands where they are. Exhale. Shift forward. Warrior 3. Undo the hands behind the head. Start to reach them out to the side. Interlace it behind the back for a bind. Start to lift those arms away from the tailbone there. Some bonus shoulder stuff here. And start to bend your right knee. Bring your left foot next to it. Lightly touch it down. Release the bind. Reach your arms out in front of you. Come on to the tiptoes. Let your hips come down to meet the heels. And we're going to bring the hands back to the mat as we did previously. But if you want to take this into a reverse plank, it's a little more challenging than your reverse table. You can extend your legs a little longer. Your hands will be right behind your hips. Same thing, fingers pointing away. Press through the ground and lift your hips up. Exhale, soften those hips down. We're going to do another round of that. Instead of those crab toe touches, we're going to do alternating leg lifts there. So if you want to go back to those crab touches, you can do that. But if you want to participate in these reverse plank leg lifts, go ahead and do that. So press into those heels and the hands, squeeze the glutes, lift the butt up. Might help to bring your feet a little closer together. And go ahead and lift the left leg up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left heel comes down. Really press through those arms. Lift that right foot up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right heel comes down. Hips come down to the floor. Good. Go ahead and cross those ankles and then make your way through a flow or vinyasa. Inhaling into that back bend. Exhaling into your downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches. Go ahead and bend the knee, stack the hips. Exhale, left knee into the chest. Shift forward, shoulders over the wrist, chin to the chest. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend the left leg, plank pose. Walk those hands forward, getting right into those walkouts extended plank. Walk it back. You find that full extension. Left to right, right to left. Don't forget about those touches. Bring it back. Keeping your arms as straight as possible. Light touch for 2. Left to right, right to left for 3. Left to right, right to left for 4. Here we go, last one. Keep working, keep giving what you got. I know this isn't easy, but that's how we grow. Left to right, right to left, downward facing dog. Good. 15 seconds to rest. Child's pose, down dog or dolphin. Start to bend your elbows. We just got 5 dolphin push-ups. Shift forward, nose touch. Lift back up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Downward facing dog. Inhale. Reach that left leg long. Exhale. Step the foot in between the hands. Arms reach up. Exhale, interlace your hands behind the head and twist towards the left. Left elbow back, right elbow forward. Inhale back to the center. Go ahead, exhale, shift forward. Warrior 3 pose. And stabilize through the legs here. I know I'm throwing a lot at you as far as stability and strength goes, but you got this. Release the hands behind the head. Interlace the hands behind the back. Knuckles down and away from the head. And go ahead and lift them up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your right foot next to the left, release the hands, reach them forward, come high into the tiptoes. Soften the hips down to the heels. And once we're here, bringing the hands back behind us. Either reverse table or reverse plank. When you're ready, find your foundation and go ahead and lift up. Good. Hold here. We're gonna go ahead and get into those leg lifts right away. Left leg lifts for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg down. Right leg lifts. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right leg down. Keep it lifting. Keep lifting those hips up. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Start to lower yourself down to the floor. Go ahead and cross your ankles with this time for the sake of finding some ease. Finding a moment to calm down through the breath. A moment to let that heart rate settle down a little bit. Now, for the next movement, we're going to do one last strengthening exercise and posture. We're going to do a Lolasana lift. And it can be very helpful to bring your hands onto blocks, paint cans, on books, whatever it might be, just as long as they're pretty equal. Chairs even. Chairs can be supportive if you're progressing in this posture. But what we're going to do here is meet with our shins on the floor. Now for Lolasana lifts, traditionally, you work with the hands on the floor on your mat about 1 inch to 3 inches behind the knees. What you do now is press through the ground, lift your knees up, and maybe the feet as well. We're going to do 2 rounds of 10-second holds. I like to use blocks sometimes as it allows me to get more lift with my shins and knees and be able to do more strengthening work there. A deeper contraction, if you will. But do what you will with your own body and strength. Now, a way to progress this is using your blocks here and then pressing into the feet and just lifting the knees up. Now let's go ahead and place your hands on whatever you're going to place them on. Press into that before lifting anything else. Press into those blocks or the ground. Find that protraction in your shoulder blades. So a little rounding in the upper back. Let's go and lift the knees, maybe the feet as well. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And take a moment, shake out those arms. It might be nice to bring your hands behind you, fingers facing away, and lift up through the chest. Good. So one more round of that. I'm going to attempt it without blocks. Shoulders are pretty toasty by now, so we'll see how it goes. Feel free to join me or not with that. Well, go ahead and set yourself up. Press into the ground. Lift your knees, maybe those feet for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Barely had it. You could probably slip like a piece of paper underneath me with that one. All right, take a counter pose here. Hands to the floor maybe, or an alternate variation. Maybe placing the backs of the hands onto the floor might feel nice. Fantastic. Good. So, we're going to spend the next about 2 minutes or so working into an inversion. Now, a wall can be very helpful for this. Now, if you're toasted already and don't really have much more to give as far as strength goes, you can just scoot yourself up to the wall like this and find the gentle variation of an inversion like this, legs up the wall. Since we are working into shoulders today, there's 2 inversions that work really well with shoulder strengthening. And one is handstanding, and the second one is forearm stand. Our shoulders might be prepared well for forearm stand, since a gateway to forearm stand is dolphin pose. You can set your arms up similar to your dolphin pose, forearms together, forearms about shoulder width distance apart. And then you can work towards kicking up towards a forearm stand. I like to use a block sometimes in between my forearms, depending on how tight my shoulders feel. As you can see, my mat started crinkling up. So a block prevents that from happening. As far as handstand goes, if you don't necessarily have handstand in your practice, I really enjoy the toes, chest, nose variation as far as progressing towards handstand. So what that is you walking yourself up. So your toes are on the wall, the chest comes to the wall, and so does your nose. Now, as you progress, you might find that variation with the nose, chest, toes very difficult. So please, just work into it, working your hands closer and closer to the wall as you find more strength and comfort. So go ahead and get into an inversion if you haven't done so already. I'll keep the timer going for about another 1.5 minutes for your inversion. So I'm going to practice personally a forearm stand. Whichever variation of your inversion you're working into, make sure you find some ease. Some of them might be a little easier to find ease than others. That's the idea of this inversion. You don't necessarily want it to be too intense, too strengthening, so it pulls you out of a breath practice or a mindfulness practice. Just enough.
Go ahead and start to make your way out of your inversion. And then once you have your blood pressure and everything more towards an equal state, let's meet on our backs. Go ahead and draw the feet in towards the glutes. Let your arms rest down by your sides. We'll take this into a bridge. So as you press your feet into the floor, lift your hips up, squeeze the glutes. Nice and easy bridge here. Interlace your hands underneath the body if you want to, and press the forearms into the mat. Exhale. Slowly bring the length of your spine onto the floor. And bring your knees into the chest and rock yourself up. We're going to take a pigeon pose here with the left knee forward, right leg extending back. And so if this is too intense, you can come back to the variation where we were standing, or you can do this on your back like so. Interlacing your hands around the right thigh or right shin as you pull the left foot towards you. Now, if you're working with the prone, chest to the floor, you can offer yourself a nice shoulder stretch as well. You can walk the hands forward, brace on the left arm, thread your right arm through and under. And that left arm can reach behind to find the opposite hip. Next inhale, start to reach that left arm up. Untwist if you're twisted. And we'll take a moment to counter pose, freestyle counter pose out of this pigeon however you want to. Let's bring the left knee back down or back to the center of the mat. Right leg starts to situate itself for pigeon pose, opposite side. Again, take another variation if this is too much for you. But if you want to participate in this one, go ahead and then walk the hands forward. Left arm can reach up and then thread through, reaching towards the right side. Inhale, start to reach your right arm up and make your way back into that counter pose on this side. Come onto your belly and we'll get into a shoulder stretch. I'll demonstrate this on the wall. You can absolutely do this on the wall as well if you want to. But we're going to take our arm reach it out to the side, reach it out to the right side. So on your belly, extend your arm out right, move your shoulder blade down and away, and then start to open up the chest, or rather roll on towards your right side. Keep pressing the hand into the floor on that right side, driving the index knuckle and thumb knuckle in. And inhale, come back to the center. Go ahead and switch your left arm, or switch towards your left side. Extend your left arm long. Use your right fingertips to help roll you to the left. Don't forget to roll that shoulder blade down and away. And come back to the center. And then go ahead and roll all the way onto your back from there. Pull your knees into the chest. Wrap your arms around your shins or your knees. Let your head and shoulder blades come up. And go ahead and let your legs extend long and your arms come long and wide for a Shavasana. Now, once you're in Shavasana, start to pay attention to your thoughts, especially as you complete a rather difficult practice. Please don't be discouraged at yourself. Hopefully you gave it your all, and challenge yourself, because challenge is what often inspires growth. And so as we grow, we become the strongest version of ourselves and are able to be strong for ourselves and others. So with that, honor your inner strength and wisdom, peace and gratitude. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.